Okay, so let's take a look. File processing. Write a static method name half caps. So it means it's a static method you're supposed to write. Method name is given half caps that accepts. It means that's the parameter we are accepting. A scanner. You must know at this point how you are accepting a scanner, how to accept a scanner as a parameter, holding a sequence of words and output to the console the same sequence of words with alternating casing. So it means you are reading the words. The only thing you are changing is the casing, which is lowercase and uppercase like this, alternating. So it means even out situation. So one is all the even ones will be uppercase or all the odd ones will be uppercase, depending on your style, whatever you want to get started with. So but they have mentioned the first word, third, fourth, fifth, and all other odd words should be in lowercase. So they have mentioned. If they haven't mentioned, then you have the open option, but they have mentioned the first word. So we are starting with the first word and we have to make it as lowercase letters. So all the odd words will be lowercase, whereas the second word, fourth word, and sixth word, all the other even words should be in uppercase letters. It's easier to identify or make lowercase and uppercase with the string functionality. You have already built in lowercase and uppercase methods, so that's not going to be an issue. For example, suppose the scanner contains the following words. So they always give you an example that what was the input and what the output they're expecting. That make it so easier to understand the question. For this purpose of this problem, we will use white space to separate the words. You can assume that the sequence of words will not contain any numbers or punctuation and that each word will be separated by one space. For the input above, your method should produce the following output. So when they have written, like, we don't have to think about any numbers or punctuations or any special symbols. That makes your life so much easier because you're just avoiding some of the if conditions. You don't have to deal with those numbers or extra words. The only thing we are looking for is the strings, and we have to make sure that the first word, converted it to lowercase, second word, all the letters in uppercase, then lowercase, uppercase, uppercase. That's the output we need to produce. Your output should separate each word by a single space. The output may end with a space if you like. Note that the scanner may contain no words or may contain an even or odd number of words. Okay, so let's get started. Open Eclipse and stop the share. Please share my screen with Eclipse. And let's write our static method. So this is where my class ends. So I have to make an enter and write my static method over here. So over here we have to write okay. So can you are you able to see my Eclipse? Yes, no. Yes. Are you looking at my Eclipse? Yes, great. Okay, so let's get started. We have to write the static method, half caps. So public, it's a static method. What is the return type? What we are returning? Use the chat, answer what we are. Yes, we are returning void, no return type. We are not returning anything. Method name is half caps. What we are accepting from user? What we are accepting? What we are accepting? Use the chat. What we are accepting? String? No. Scanner. We are accepting scanner. We can say scanner input and starting curly braces, ending curly braces. So our task is to go over the scanner, whatever the input is passed, we have to go through the scanner and we have to do the alternating cases. There are 3 different solutions. Whatever the solution you are thinking right now, you can try and test. I will just pick one of the solution and we will go with one of the statement. Okay, so as we are testing even and odd, you can have an int count where you can say, okay, so if it's if you see any even numbers, mod 2 equals to 0. If the count, you can just put a count variable in starting with 0 and increase your count. And if the count is mod 2 equals to 0, it means it's at 0 location, or it says location 1 starting with 1, depending on your situation, whatever the way you are thinking of solving this question. Otherwise, you can say with a Boolean, odd and even. Boolean. You can say Boolean. We can set it as odd, as the first number is odd, 1, 3, 5 mentioned in the question. So let's say odd is true. So if this is true, it means the even will be false. So while, what will be the while condition? Whenever you are working with file processing question, it's obvious that you have to use the while loop. What will be the condition of your while loop? While what? While what? This is your scanner. How long you have to run the code? As long you have what? Has next. As long you have any word to read in your file. So while input dot has next, it means it will return only true and false. That if it's true, yes, we have a word to read, then what we have to do is, don't forget to do string variable, because you have to increment. Otherwise, if you don't do the increment, it will always be stuck to the same position. And how to do the increment, I will, after checking input dot has next, I have to say input dot next, so that it can move on to the next token. Excuse me. And now you have the condition. You can say if odd, it means if it's true, then what we can do is system dot out dot println. We will say this. And I was like, where's the word? Next, if this is odd, then it's a lowercase dot to lowercase. As you can see, I'm getting the option because of the string. So dot to lowercase, it's done. Concatenation operator, they said separate them with 1 white space. So separated with 1 white space, and else will be the case. And I will say system.out.println, control C and control V, next to uppercase, not the lowercase. It means it's an oops. Next dot to uppercase over here. So separated by 1 single space, and if else, anything else I'm missing, anything else. Anything else? Odd is equals to not odd. So else, this is where your else ends. This is where it will come at this point. So you have to make not equals to odd. Okay, so now let's test our code. In test, this is where no errors. Okay, curly braces are half caps, scanner input. Let's go and pass our value. We use the same hours.txt class, and we will say scanner input equals to new scanner. Half caps is the method name, half caps, and what we are passing is our input, which is the scanner, and we are printing inside of that method. Yes, we are printing inside. So let's go back to our hours.txt class, because we have to make a change over here. Instead of this data, we have to make a different data. Let me pull up from the question so that we can check if the question is right or wrong. We can compare. You can write anything. The Brown fox jumps, they jumped over the sleepy student. Over the, I'm just making random sleepy student. Okay, Control S. So Control S, as you can see, it's just random, no even odds kind of situation where some have F capital, over here the whole word is capital. So let's go back to our class, which is file test, and let's run this and see if we are getting the right output. Or we are doing \n, we have to remove the backslash, sorry, not the \n, print ln. Remove this so that we can have in one single line. Remove ln and now run, because we want to be printed in the same line. So as you can see, the odd words are in lowercase and the even words are in uppercase letters. Okay, so that's the output of our code. This is the solution. Any questions so far?